Hey, welcome back to the Nerf Report. We have a fantastic show lined up for you this week. We check out the future of virtual reality. Monkeys are ready to beat you in video games. We need to talk about the games you may have missed this week. And there is a ton of PlayStation news that we need to talk about. All of this and much more on this week's episode of the Nerf Report.
Are you listening?
What's up, everyone? My name is Bryant, and we have a lot to talk about this week. But first, let's talk about monkeys. You know, in a world where we've seen movies like Planet of the Apes, King Kong, and Curious George, you'd think we'd learn by now that you don't mess with monkeys. And I know what you're thinking, Brian, should Curious George really be included on that list? And I would say, have you actually seen the show? That monkey is a menace. Sure, you can chalk it up as curiosity all you want, but now somebody needs to repaint the entire living room all because George wanted to finger paint. Well, this week, Elon Musk's latest project, Neuralink, showed off a massive breakthrough in their brain chip technology. And if you're not aware, Neuralink is a company who is designing a chip that will be implanted into your brain, connecting it to the internet and allowing you to interact with technology, along with allowing doctors to fix anything wrong with the brain, restore memory, and improve speech and movement of people who might be suffering from paralysis. And if you're wondering, well, what does this have to do with monkeys? In their latest update, Neuralink showed that the technology actually works. As Pager, a 9-year-old macaque, has had the Neuralink implanted into their head, allowing scientists to monitor their brain activity, specifically their motor skills brain activity while playing video games. By recording the neurons, scientists were able to predict Pager's movements in real time and then translated that, allowing his neuron activity to control the game using his brain, while the controller was unplugged. In fact, Neuralink showed Pager playing Pong without a controller, just using his brain. Okay, that is crazy. I mean, I can barely play Pong with a controller, and Pager is clearly better than I am. This is how it begins. Now, obviously, there are a lot of ethical questions surrounding this new technology, but Neuralink hopes that this technology will allow people suffering from paralysis to use a computer just with their brains. And the implications that this has for gaming and accessibility is huge. And I, for one, think that that is awesome. And from the world of apes, let's go to the world of virtual reality. You know, for as much as I love VR, I have to admit it, no one looks cool playing virtual reality. Well, unless you're going to play it like this. Allow me to introduce you to Ballast VR, a company based out of San Francisco, California, who is setting out to revolutionize water parks and virtual reality. In fact, Ballast has two products, VR Slide and Die VR. VR Slide transforms water slides by allowing riders to wear a VR headset while going down the slide and transporting them into a virtual world. Whereas Die VR will anchor players, allowing them to float in place and experience the feeling of being weightless. And on top of that, the company offers Die VR Plus, which adds a haptic motor system which simulates movement underwater as well.
You know, this whole gaming thing is getting to be pretty expensive. I'm just doing the math here. I'm gonna need $40,000 for a brand new pool. Underwater VR headset's probably gonna be like what, $500? And yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to convince my wife on this one. Now, this week also marked the arrival of a ton of new video games. So let's talk about the games that released this week in a reoccurring segment that we like to call Games You May Have Missed. First up, let's talk about Oddworld Soulstorm, which is an explosive action-adventure game from developer Oddworld Inhabitants. Now, we should point out that this game is more than just a platformer, as the game features crafting, scavenging, and stealth mechanics. Oddworld Soulstorm is available right now for PlayStation and PC. What the Dub is a brand new party game which allows players to dub awful B-movies, outdated PSAs, and various industrial films. Players will submit what they feel as the best dub
dubs, and everyone will then vote on which one is the best dub. Featuring over 300 clips to dub, What the Dub is out right now for PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC. Next up, let's talk about Pac-Man 99, which is a new Pac-Man Battle Royale game in which players will compete against 99 players to achieve the ultimate Pac Royale. Pac-Man 99 includes things like ghost trains, 8 different strategy presets, and much more. Pac-Man 99 is out right now exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. And finally, let's talk about Legends of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. The final chapter in the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel is boasting the largest roster yet, and the game also features a refined combat system along with much more. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 is out right now for Google Stadia, PC, Nintendo, and PlayStation. And clearly, there were a ton of video games that released this week, and this is just a small sampling. What games have you been playing this week? Let us know in the comment section down below. And finally for this week, let's talk about PlayStation, who found themselves in a very interesting web of controversy filled with unwanted remakes, canceling of video games, and some serious developer drama. In fact, there's so much PlayStation news to talk about that we have to dust off an old segment that we like to call PS. I forgot to tell you. First up, let's talk about Days Gone, the ultimate crossover for people who wanted to be Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. You know, you get to play as a biker and you get to kill zombies. In fact, in many ways, this game is better at being Daryl Dixon than the actual Walking Dead video game where you get to play as Daryl Dixon. However, despite the fact that Days Gone was a fantastic game, which sold extremely well, it looks like we will not be getting a sequel. According to a brand new report from Bloomberg, PlayStation recently rejected plans for a sequel to Days Gone. Instead, Sony decided to have developer Sony Bend work on a different game. And we should point out that none of this report has been confirmed by Sony or any of its employees. That being said, Jeff Ross, the director behind Days Gone, did tweet a response to the article saying, "Hey all, thanks for reaching out with all of the support. I am not able to confirm or deny anything, so please understand if I like one of your tweets, all it means is I saw it and appreciate it, and nothing else. Love you guys." Which I've always been a fan of the I can neither confirm nor deny statement. Like, it never works. Hey man, did you eat my leftovers? I can neither confirm nor deny that I ate your leftovers. Now obviously, as a fan of Days Gone, this news sucks, but in case you're wondering, what game is Sony Bend working on instead? Well, PS. I forgot to tell you. According to Bloomberg, instead of working on a new Days Gone game, Sony Bend was instructed to work on 2 separate projects, a Last of Us multiplayer game and a brand new Uncharted game under the supervision of Naughty Dog. So we do know that Last of Us Part 2 is scheduled to receive a multiplayer update at some time, but this news of a brand new Uncharted game is kind of exciting news for all of us, as previously Naughty Dog has stated that they were open to other studios working on Uncharted 5, but for the time being, the studio was mostly done with the IP. However, unfortunately for this story, the team at Sony Bend was unhappy about the arrangement and asked to be removed from this project to work on their own game, which is a brand new franchise. So wait, we're not getting Days Gone 2, and now we don't know if we're getting a new Uncharted game, but Sony Bend is working on a new IP. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but what the hell is Naughty Dog up to? Well, P.S. I forgot to tell you. Bloomberg continued to explain that Naughty Dog is currently hard at work on a remake of the 2013 game The Last of Us. 2013? Oh my god. You know, sometimes I guess I forget that, you know, The Last of Us released on the PlayStation 3, but I've got to say, it's weird that Sony is having such a prominent studio focusing on remaking this game instead of doing something, I don't know, new? Like, we've already received a remastered version of the original Last of Us game for the PlayStation 4, and I'm having a hard time understanding how they could do anything to remake that game that would drastically change the experience. But I'm also shamefully a big fan of Naughty Dog, so anything that they do, I will 100% buy. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the Nerf Report. Thank you again so much for watching, and a special thank you to all of the Nerf Report best friends who make content just like this possible. Until next time, my name is Bryant, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, which who wouldn't, hit the subscribe button right there. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Maybe even consider becoming a Nerf Report best friend, just like the people listed down below did. In fact, don't you want to see your name there? I know I do.